Real toe tapper. Nice one, Jim. Welcome to the View from the Mountain. It's Paul Mountain here to talk you through your Thursday night. Going to be a regular slot moving forward, and obviously with Jimmy slacking off, going on his holidays, you might see a little bit more of me on the channel over the next couple of weeks. Glad to be here. Obviously, football's back. Everybody, we are not having to watch scraping the barrel, watching some of the World Club Cup or whatever they want to call it. Which obviously well done to Chelsea for winning the cup that they never qualified for. Still don't know how all that works, but yeah. Anyway, let's not get into that at the minute. If you do have any technical issues or you can't hear me very well, we've been having lots of fun and games on the streams at the minute. Just with regards to sound quality and obviously seeing me and everything else. So if there is any issues, please pop it into the comments. Comments going to play a big part of tonight's stream simply because I want to hear from you. So I put on the advert about the top six. So what I'm after, guys, is your top six in the championship this season coming up. Who's going to finish in the top six? There's a lot of potential contenders that are new to the league, obviously the parachute teams, and we've got teams coming up from below as well that might be in there. So what I want to hear from you is those six teams that you think are going to make up the top six. Very difficult to call the top two, obviously, until we get a look at some of these sides. A lot of players being added and taken away at this point in time. So, yeah, should be interesting. Obviously, I want to talk about what happened the other night. Ruben Sayers' first game. Interested to hear what you thought of it. I know that there's been a number of responses. I think a 6-2 victory feels like a good result for somebody's first match in charge. And the thing that I liked about it was the style. We were very, very aggressive in our attacking. Yeah, when you've only got 45 minutes to survive on a football pitch, you can probably go all out, which is exactly what happened. Two different sides in two halves. A real mixture. Lots of youth players in there. Some people we hadn't seen before. Tell me what you think. Did anyone stand out as a top performer? The obvious ones are, we've heard about Hamer, we've heard about Cal O'Hare. Any of the new boys take your fancy? What do they look like? Let's hear from you about that. So yeah, I personally believe it was a funny game to take. Obviously, York City are a National League side, which means that people look at it and say, well, they're nowhere near the level we need to be playing. But for a first game, I think it was I say a test, a decent test, maybe not a test at all, but it was certainly a good chance for us to have a look at some of our players, see how they're coming back after their little summer breaks. Not that they get very long anymore. But yeah, I thought it was excellent, to be fair. A couple of exciting things happened. Obviously, Ryan Oney gets 2 goals coming in off the left-hand side. I think he was plugging a gap there. I think it's a gap that he might be a Louis Barry-shaped hole in our team, potentially on that left-hand side. But people were talking a lot in the build-up about Tom Cannon. Again, I think it was probably more of an experiment to see if we can get players on the pitch. Obviously, when you've got Ty Campbell and Kiefer Moore, I can't really see them edging out onto one of the flanks. So maybe Tom Cannon just suited that particular role on this particular day. But Ryan Oney certainly looked a menace out there, and that 1v1 skill and shot that he produced, and obviously he proved he could go both ways. Something that we've been asking United wingers and wide forwards to be doing an awful lot. I used to say a lot about all our wide players. Obviously, Gus had always been on the inside, seldom down the outside, didn't really fancy it on his left foot very often. And obviously, Raksaki, when he did go down on the right-hand side, he looked a world beater, but literally never wanted to do that, always looked like he wanted to come inside. So Ryan Oney potentially offering us something out there that we might want to keep hold of. I know a lot of people wanted him to go out on loan. I think he might have played his way in. He might be playing his way into a slot in this team. Certainly in the squad, the match day squads that are coming up, because I think he's got massive potential. Some people complain about his fitness as well. Said he looked like he was tired out very quickly the other night. But he's still a young lad. He's still got a bit to go. But I'd love him to come and be an impact sub for us initially, and then maybe break his way in when he got that match fitness down the line. So yeah. But overall, you've got to say, for a first result, 6-2 is really, really good. People moaning about a few performances. I think what we need to remember is certainly Ukaki and Jeff Caceres as well. You've got to remember that these guys have never made an appearance in this country for our club. And I think that gets forgotten. I know it's very different, but when I was a young lad and I was playing football, I remember having those first 2 or 3 matches when I was playing either in a men's team or playing at a slightly higher level than I had before. I was very nervous, and it meant that you weren't able really to express yourself the way you wanted to. And it's really difficult if you've been at a club for a while, and then you're sort of thrown into it with all the other first team players. I can imagine that's part of the psychology of that is quite difficult. So they won't have had loads and loads of game time in this country. So I kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt for that. Bindon looked good from what I've heard. He was very, very solid, and yeah, I think he's definitely one that will affect the first 11 moving forward. Ryan Oney, obviously, very exciting for him, and a load of the young players just to get in and mix it with some of our better players is really exciting as well. So yeah, let's get into these comments because I just want to see what people are saying about what happened the other night. So, evening, Paul. Hope you're okay. Hi, Rob. I was having kittens with a Hamer situ. went for a bath to calm down. Not a bad policy, but he had more kittens after. If he goes, then along with Sousa going to leave a big hole to fill. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. I know that there's been a fairly credible source say that he might be on his way there. It all feels a little bit hearsay at the minute. It's probably making a link between PSV. I think they've sold a couple of their big hitters for, I think they've got over 50 million in transfer fees just arrived into the club. And I think that's what people are putting 2 and 2 together and getting 7. So I don't know if any of that's true or not. It's the nature of it. I'm afraid there's a lot of teams in this world, not in this country, who could go and get Gus if they wanted to. But we'll have to wait and see. At the minute, I wouldn't be too worried about stuff like that. There's no point worrying anyway, is there? Although he is obviously our best player. Evening, everyone. Have you seen the links to Savage from Reading? Charlie Savage? Is that Robbie Savage's lad? Watched him play, but on paper he looks good. Well, yeah, again, I've not really seen much of him, so I don't know how true any of that is. Or I think I'd imagine another easy link to make between someone who played for Sellers in a previous role coming into the team. We've obviously seen that already with Bindon. We might be seeing that with Louis Barry as well, who we bought to Hull. So these links are quite easy for journalists to make. And again, until someone's holding the shirt, I won't be worried too much about any of that. A lot of this is speculation. People trying to fill column inches. People trying to justify their wages. Evening Man Mountain, rumours of Hamer going today. Today, crikey. That would be quick work for where United's concerned. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. Able to replace him? Yeah, it'd be almost impossible to replace. I don't think we could go out and spend 15 million on a player straight away anyway, first of all, and get them to come and play in the Championship. Obviously, when we signed him, we were on our way to the Premier League. We were quite fortunate that he stayed with us. So yeah, it would be almost impossible to replace, but let's cross that bridge if it comes. There's no point wasting our time worrying about it in the meantime, but I don't think there's too much to it. I think it's just another article that's been released, and it's not the first time already there's some of that's been said. Low move for Barry, yeah, that's been in the pipeline. Imminent transfer that hasn't yet materialised, so we'll have to wait and see what's happening with that. All right, pal. Thought we look good at York. I agree. Looking forward to see the best side played in up and coming friendlies. Yeah, it was one of them. Like I said, I didn't really explain myself very well about why I thought it was a bit of a difficult call, because I put a message in the group about with them being a National League side. We're in a bit of a no-win situation in that if we win, we're expected to win. If we draw, then people are like, that's not good enough. If we lose, the world's imploding. If we win easily, then all of a sudden, York are poor and it proves nothing. So it's kind of like it's quite difficult to gain any credibility. The thing I did like was the speed at which we attacked. So I think that's something that has frustrated me in the past. I do remember shouting on the terraces when I was watching Wilder's team in the Premier League. And again, certainly not digging out Chris Wilder at all on this, but when we used to play in wide areas, we used to have lovely little patterns of play that would occur in those wide areas using triangles of players, 3 and 4 players joining in to move the ball on the edge of the box. My issue with that was always that it slowed down play. It allows defenders to set themselves into their nice formation and get their body shape right, get their eye on what they're doing, cover up the spaces really, really nicely. I always felt, well, any ball that goes in now is just going to be easily swept up by a couple of big centre halves or a commanding keeper. The thing with it is, we were getting players in the box, and we scored from crosses, and we scored from breakaway goals, and we scored types of goals that are encouraging, because when the ball was wide, thinking of Burrows and Kiefer Moore connecting out wide left, man in the box, heads the ball. It's a real strength for Kiefer Moore, as we know, that we just, as a supporter last season, I just didn't think we utilised very well. So yeah, it was one of those where I felt like we scored different kinds of goals, and that's encouraging for me, because when the ball goes wide, what I want to see is a ball in quick. Okay, David Beckham and Ruud van Nistelrooy made themselves world-class footballers doing exactly that. Ball goes in, gets to his feet, doesn't take anyone on, doesn't need to, whips it in, and he knows where he's going, and he gets on the end of something. And I think that there's something to be said for that. It's the speed at which you do that gets the defenders on the hop, doesn't give them a chance to get themselves into the perfect position just to nod it away. So it is something I'm quite excited for. We're looking at the style, looking how we bombed forward, the inclusion of fullbacks. We saw Femi Sariki in really advanced positions. And yeah, like you say, they're not the best defenders. They're not the best defenders we're going to come up against this season. But what it does show is an intent. And if the players needed any convincing, I think it was a lot different to how we've played under Wilder last season. So I think it's an encouraging sign. Obviously, the defensive side of it, a very good free kick. And yeah, Kiefer Moore lost his man in the box. I don't mind, because people were digging out Davis after the game, which you can say, well, yeah, he's not good enough to be a number 2. This is the time for Ruben to discover that, isn't it? It's the time where he gets to have a look at these players, decide whether he can trust them. If we needed to trust Davies next season, would that be applicable? From the performance, you got to say you don't mind that. People digging out Jack Robinson, well, it happens with Jack Robinson. He gave away a couple of iffy passes, could you say? And obviously he fell over when someone was running at him as well. And again, people, oh yeah, we're having a go at him, but it shows what is Jack Robinson, and it gives Ruben a good idea of what he's dealing with. Jack Robinson's obviously had better games than that, but obviously I don't mind these things happening. It's a pre-season friendly. The result means pretty much nothing. So it's kind of, it is what it is, and he sees what he sees, and then he makes a decision on whether he's good enough or whether he wants to get somebody else in, which I think isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for players you don't fancy not playing well in the pre-season friendlies. So Ian and Paul, will there be a ramble on the road for Burton? We are hoping to have one. I know Jamie's done an amazing job on the recent one. You should go and have a look at that. With Jamie Dumpling, who did an amazing job, always does. Lots and lots of footage for Jimmy, and some really good match footage as well. So yeah, well done, Jamie, on that one. But yeah, I think that if you want to, mate, I think you've just got to make it known that you want to do one. So or anyone else who wants to do one, so they are open to Platinum Ramblers to step in and have a go at doing one of those. Ipswich, Sheffield United, Birmingham, Borough, and Southampton, Millwall. Well, okay, so thanks, Brett. You're the first one in with this. So is that the order, Brett? I'd be interested to know. So is Ipswich your top of the shop? Sheffield United in second place, I have to say. I fully agree with that, actually. Birmingham, Middlesbrough, Southampton, and Millwall. So you are missing some big hitters in there for me that may well feature. I don't think it's a bad 6. I would be surprised if Millwall... Yeah, I know they're a tough side. I see them in the top half of the table, but I'm not sure if I see them in the top 6. And with that, you're discounting a few. So we've got Coventry City, you've overlooked there. I'd like to, if you can rationale that for me, Brett, that'd be great. I'll read your comment out later. Leicester City, obviously, we don't know about their points and how many points they're going to lose. But you know, they might have a squad strong enough. My issue with them is I think they're going to have to sell some of their big hitters. The reason for that is I think I'm fairly sure they had a big wage bill. There are a lot of players still on the Prem money from when they're in the glory days, and they're carrying quite a bit of deadwood that I doubt they're going to be able to get rid of. Similar to Man United, how they can't move players on who are basically getting too much money. And I think that could be the case with Leicester, and they might have to persevere with some players that they might not want, and some of their big players, Mavididi and people, they might not be able to keep hold of. Obviously, we've got stalwarts of the division like West Bromwich Albion, Watford, who are making some moves as well. So yeah, be intriguing to see what other people have got. But thank you, Brett, for that. I'll talk you through mine at the end, guys, when I've been for everybody else's. Hi, Lewis, how you doing? What's your take on the chances if a Gus replacement, if he did go, crikey? I think slim to nil. If the squad stays intact... Oh, let me read that again. What's your take on the chances if a Gus replacement, if he did go? Getting one in? I think if we lost Gus Aimer, I think we'd have to go and get somebody, Lewis. Honestly, I don't think it would... I don't think the availability of our midfielders for a start makes me worry a little bit. Obviously, Blaston, we're hoping he comes back fully fit and does the season for us. We know about Davis's issues. I certainly feel like we need one more anyway. So I think if Hamer went, I think it would be two personally. That would be my instinct. I fancy Ipswich and United for top two. Lewis, good lads. Yeah, I'm with you a little bit. I think Ipswich's squad has been very cleverly assembled. Yes, they are going to lose. They've lost Delap already, but I think they'll lose Hutchinson as well. But they did recruit really, really well, and they took a lot of the big hitters from the Championship, Clark and Smolix and Greaves as well. So yeah, it could be them near the top. Kieran McKenna's obviously is a very good manager as well. So I do see them right up there, and I still think they'll add, if they lose Delap and Hutchinson, I still think they'll go and get a few players that will be best in class in this division. So yeah, I think that they're going to be there or thereabouts. John, hi mate. Top six: Blades, Borough, Southampton. Borough, a lot of shouts for Borough already. Ipswich, Derby. Oh, John. Okay, and Birmingham, yes. Derby have made some good signings, haven't they? They've got the wee man, Andy Weimann, up front, and they've just signed him. He's goals at this level, isn't he? Carlton Morris is the big one for me. I think he's a very useful acquisition at this level for sure. He's going to be a bit of a bulldozer for them, a bit of experience at the back with Danny Batt as well. I'm reluctant to say I think they'll be anywhere near the top six. I think they'll be safe because obviously they've been flirting with relegation. I think they've added some experience, but I think it would be a big stretch for them. I don't know if maybe I'm off, maybe you're right, mate. I'm not sure, but I think that Derby's a big shout. Birmingham are the obvious newbies to the division, as it were. Not in a historical sense, but obviously they are coming up from League One. They are chucking the wedge around. I've never seen a team do what they've done, to be frank. 30 million quid in League One is insane in my head, but it is what it is, and they're acquiring quite a good squad. So yeah, I think they might be there or thereabouts as well, mate. But the others are parachute teams. Borough, someone talk me through Borough, because I think minus Doak, are they the same proposition as they were before? Is my question. I don't know if they are, so we'll have to see. But Borough seem to be fancied by some of the faithful. We finished first. Nice one, Brett. Living up to your tag. Wednesday finished bottom. Yeah, I think you'd struggle to find a Wednesdayite at the minute who didn't think that was the case. Also, couldn't care about the rest. Up the positive blades. Clip me. Okay, putting your money where your mouth is there, Brett. Telling you to get clipped about you saying we'll be top, they'll be bottom. Sheffield, I don't want to say what I was going to say. At either end. Yeah, I'll keep that one in my head and nowhere else. Okay, so I didn't mention this, guys, but I have got myself a guest on today. Someone to talk us through who their top six might be as well. You'll recognise him from the world famous watch-alongs that we do. The man with a sheepskin coat. There he is, Jordan Watson. Hello, mate. You all right?
How you doing, pal? You all right?
Yeah, you can pull a face, but if you know your John Motson banter mate, you know that he wears the sheepskin. That's what he does. Are
I've
you
been
well,
asked
pal?
that.
Yeah, everything all right?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. A bit of a rush, but we're here
Oh,
and
good.
we're ready.
I hope you're all right, mate. Because on my screen you've frozen, but I can just about hear you. Just let us know, guys, if there's any interference. We've been having these technical issues as we do on the Ramble since Jimmy. Since Jimmy moved me, I've moved upstairs. I've gone to EE. It's not Jimmy's fault, actually. I've gone to EE from BT, and I've never regretted anything more in my life. So, yeah. So the other night, mate, are you? Was you happy with the performance? Great result, wasn't it?
I quite enjoyed it for a friendly because I didn't, I didn't expect too much from it. I just thought it'd be a run out for lads, which it was really. But we turned up, didn't we? And we put a decent performance in. To be quite honest, the opponents obviously they're not, I don't think they're a bad team for the level that they're playing at, but they are a team that we should be beating. And I think we did that quite convincingly in both halves. We had a little spell where we dropped off a little bit and conceded them 2 goals, but we got back into it and pressed well again and got onto the front foot and put them in a bit of trouble. So yeah, I was very happy with it for for the first game back in pre-season. I thought it was going to be maybe a boring 1-1 draw, but it exceeded all expectations really.
Oh, sorry, mate. Jord,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about the viewers. Will probably let me know in the comments. But you just broken up for me, similar to how Jimmy was the other day.
yeah. My camera seems to be on mine. It seems to be all right, and then you seem to be
That's
pausing. So I don't know
right.
what's.
Fine. That's fine. As long as I'm not pulling some silly face, as long as that's all right, mate. I'll yeah, we'll crack on with it. But I don't know what's going on with I'm sure it's my internet. Anyway, we'll plow on. I haven't got anyone telling me it's a load of rubbish in the comments yet, so let's not worry.
It's how it goes.
Okay, so what we got? I think Ryan One should be part of the group. Can see him starting games this season. What do you think, Paul? Well, the evidence on the first game has to be a resounding yes. I know that I think this is a thing, with Wilder. And again, not digging him out, but he seems like, remember when we had David Brooks and he wouldn't play him? Do you remember? And
Yeah,
he was sat watching all the time. And we signed some really good young players. It was kind of the same with Calvert-Lewin didn't get a lot of games for us, did he? I don't know if you remember
yeah,
when he
yeah,
was playing for us either. And it was kind of like we've had all these potential superstars who've sort of been on our books and sort of sat and watching and then brought on sparingly and hardly ever used. And I got the feeling Ryan One, he came with a lot of fanfare, didn't he, from Scotland?
yeah. You did,
And
yeah.
it's just, yeah. And I just thought we've not really used him. He scored that goal, didn't he, down at Bristol, and he just didn't seem to get much of a sniff. And I can't think whether that's the strength of the personnel. Who, Tyrese has obviously had a really good season. Hard not to pick him, but I just felt like he was being a bit not used enough maybe last season. What do you think?
I don't think he quite pushed on as much as what he maybe could have had. But yeah, I think other players weren't. Tyrese Campbell were in a bit of form, scoring some goals. So maybe we're pushing him out. We're only playing with one up front, weren't we, most of the season as well. We're only towards coming into the playoffs that we started playing with 2 up top. So yeah, he got pushed a bit down pecking order, didn't he? But Wild had his favourite in Brewster, in Moore when he come back from injury, Tyrese Campbell. So people were knocking on the door before necessarily he were, weren't he? And only got his chance really because we were struggling for strikers at the time. So we might not have actually seen him much last season
Mm.
if the strikers had been fit, all the way through.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's maybe the championship. It's hard to blood young players of his age, obviously because points mean prizes, and you can't have one off day, can you? At the division last year, so
Well,
you
look at
can't.
City Peck.
Yeah, you
You
can't
know,
be experimenting with your team.
yeah, look at City Peck. He came in, didn't he? And he he took his shot, didn't he? And he were in that team week in week out. So maybe only didn't take his chance when he could have. That's only what I can think of.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, the thing for me was he was in a wide position. He was willing to go both ways, and he got rewarded with that with a goal on his right foot, a goal on his left. And I think when
Yeah,
you're in a wide area, you've got to be willing to go both ways because, like we saw with Raksaki, it's just a bit too predictable, isn't it? I think
yeah,
players
yeah,
come
it is.
into.
Yeah,
I mean, your Salah, unless you're Salah, you know it's going to happen, but there's nothing you can do about it because he's just too quick, isn't he? So
yeah,
yeah, unfortunately, Jez isn't quite there. But top six then: Birmingham Blades, Ipswich, Coventry, Norwich, and Swansea. Okay, so Birmingham for the title, David. Wow, that is that's I think that's bold. Personally, I think that's a big shout. Um, Ipswich, I agree. Blades, yeah. Coventry, I think, yeah. I think you can definitely make a case. Norwich City, I do think that they've got work to do. They've lost Rowe, haven't they? They're going to lose. They've lost Borja Signs, and they look like they're likely to lose Sargent.
yeah,
That's a big chunk of the goal scoring firepower out of that team. And the big players in that team. So yeah, I agree. I think the manager's a good lad. Manning's a good manager to get in. I think he overachieved at Bristol, obviously, but I just feel like they're missing a lot of firepower. Yes, they're going to have a lot of wedge. Because I think Sargent's the best part of 20 million they've said they want, and they'll probably get. And then I think Borgia was about 14 or something, wasn't he? Or something
yeah.
like that. So yeah, I think they'll have some money to spend, but it does depend on what happens next, really, for them in my eyes, because they'll want to get 3 or 4 top players at this level
I
for
think
that
they've just
money.
brought a striker in, haven't they? Is it from Norway or from Molde? It was some Scandinavian team anyway. But is he going to
Yeah,
be at the level of Josh Sargent? We don't know yet, do we? But yeah,
no, and again, there's no point in me pulling faces, but it's hard, isn't it, to think that someone comes in from that league and then just fits right in where Sargent's
yeah,
been smashing him in for about 3 or 4 years, hasn't he, at the
yeah,
level? So it's it's interesting. They are an interesting team. It's an interesting shout. I know Swansea are making some good moves, some quietly dark horse good moves in the transfer market. Um, Again, none of this is to me. None of this is outlandish, really. I just think when we're looking at that, we're looking at overlooking a few teams there. Certainly in Southampton,
yeah,
who for me are bound to be in and around the action. Leicester City obviously depends a little bit on um, what happens with their team and who they lose and who they get and what the points deduction is. There's a lot of question marks about Leicester at the minute, but you can guarantee they've got a squad that is going to be there or thereabouts for me. I don't know about you, Jord.
yeah. Like you say, it's they've got. Is it -9 that they might be getting?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the
So
ballpark that they've been talking.
it's a tough start for a minute, then but it only takes teams like Birmingham or Ipswich, who I'd fancy us to be up there, to start off all right and then slip up and have a 3 game spell where we don't win and they do, and it's back to start of the season then. So you can't write them off. They've got a decent enough team to be challenging. I definitely won't write them off yet.
No, me neither. No, me neither. But I do again. It's hard to see them outside the top six personally. Even with 9 points off, that's because they are going to have a caliber of player
Yeah,
that is going to be a top end team in this league, in
yeah,
my
exactly.
opinion. I'm a Mountain. Can't wait for the season to start. Agreed, Kev. Yeah, I agree. And now just hope we can get a few in. I agree. Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. We need some proven quality players to drive us forward. Oni will have a good season. I agree. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a couple of tried and tested. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I have championed this approach of looking at casting the net a bit further and having a look at some foreign shores our recruitment. Um,
think we seem to have lost you, Paul. Which I will carry on with this, if not to see if he comes back. But talk about proven players. I think I'm going more on the lines of, I think, loan players that'll come in later on, more towards the back end of August, when Premiership teams know their types of players that they're not going to be going with. So that then leads us to the back end of August, like last season, where these players then come in, and you can pick them off. Players, I think we need, a couple of wingers. So we're more looking at, I think someone like, there's a player called Mikey Moore at Tottenham, who's is a decent upcoming winger, which he might be a good sign. And then there's Ben Doak as well, that were on loan at Middlesbrough last season, and he had a good season, didn't he, for Middlesbrough? He caused us some problems when we played him up at Riverside. So yeah, there's players like that can come in and be available towards end of August. Some free transfers out there as well. There's one I've seen in the centre mid that's called Yanis Hadji from Rangers, who has been let go. I think he's more I class him as more an attacking midfielder. He's not really one that I've seen where he gets back and does the dirty work. So he's probably going to be rivaling more like Gus and Callum Aware for a spot, but them two, it's going to be tough. Tough to take away that spot from them. Let's have a read of this. David Morwood. We don't mind, Paul. Love your positivity, in my opinion. We will be top 6 for definite. Your positivity rubbing off on me. Up all the rambles. Up the blades. Like and subscribe. He's back.
I'm back. Hello, everybody. Yes, I am back. Back down in the front room. My gosh. EE are going to get an earful off me tomorrow. That's absolutely killing me.
I don't know if you missed it. I was just talking through a few players I were reeling off.
I did miss it, mate. I was running down the stairs with my laptop, so yeah, I've just kicked my daughter out. Get out the front room, you. And there we go. So the show must go on, Jord. It's a safe pair of hands, mate. Nice one, well done.
Hopefully, okay. All right.
Yeah, mate, I'm sure it was. Enjoyed wearing on his performance the other night. Callow hair, phenomenal. So early in pre-season, has to find a way to use him in whatever system. Yeah, of course he is, Louis. I think that's becoming really, really obvious. And again, another question: why wasn't he used all the time last year? It is beyond most people. I do think there are things for Callow here to work on. Don't get me wrong. I think he's terrific.
Yeah.
If he could strike a ball with some conviction and take it a bit earlier, last season for me, he should have been on 10 goals, and I think he ended up with 2, didn't he, or 2 or 3. I know he scored a few towards the end of the season, but after the season had finished, the regular season. But I just feel like he's got so much going for him. He's just got to make sure that we nurture it and make sure he can still crack on and still be a good player.
It can be frustrating. Right, it can be frustrating because it can get in really good positions and then try and do a fancy flick. And it's just about using that fancy flick at the right time. Because if it comes off, we're all saying, "Oh my God, what a goal!" and what a link-up play and stuff like that. But sometimes I think he does it at the wrong time, and it can be frustrating. But I love him. Like you say, how he wasn't in that team towards end of season is frustrating.
I honestly think that if he could hit a ball, and I know this is easy said because it's like saying, "Oh, if he could shoot like Shearer, then he'd be amazing." But if he could finish like Gus Aimer, he'd be playing for England. That's where my head is with him. If he could hit a ball and have the confidence to go and to strike a ball and go through it early and make some good decisions on that front. I just think he holds on the ball too long and he just won't pull the trigger at times, and it's frustrating. But doesn't mean I don't love him to death, obviously. So Ipswich, Sheffield United, Birmingham, Coventry, Norwich, and Leicester. Yeah. Again, 6 of the 10 that I'd say are the possibles. Yeah. Obviously, some people have got some slightly different ones. Who's going to be the outlier? That's the next one I want to hear about. Is who's going to be the one who's going to be the Bristol City or the Luton Town, the one that nobody expected to happen, because that seems to happen every season, every single season. For me, we seem to get a surprise package, and I've been thinking about who that might be, but I want the Ramblers to think about it as well. Still very concerned defensively. Indeed, me too. I am very much so. Again, Sheila, am I just the only one who thinks that this is the time for that to be exposed? I think that this is a really good time for the manager to see that, because then he'll go, oh, what I don't want is a bunch of players who aren't consistently delivering or aren't able to consistently deliver, having a really good pre-season, so the manager gets tricked into thinking that they're the answer. I'd rather him see that they're not the answer, so we can go out and do something about it, which is now's the time in it, really. So you agree, George? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%.
Good man. Okay, we still could be the difference for Southampton spoiling the playoff party. Again, no playoffs for us. Top two, please.
Not again.
Only scored 2 good goals. Agree with Jimmy. His fitness is a problem. Also, his passing and crossing was poor. Still a lot to learn. Yeah, there will be, David. Yeah, there will be. But the thing for me is the power and the finishing. I think there's things you can teach people, and you can certainly get people fitter, and you can certainly get them to pass the ball and make better decisions. But you know, he's got something, hasn't he, that you can't coach people into, and that's power, and that's being able to finish. You know, finishing's the hardest part of the game.
Something that Asula didn't have, and it's that composure in front of goal for me. Yeah. Asula had his skills, and he was strong on ball. They were a bit of a unit, weren't he? But it's when he got in front of goal, he just seemed to panic and didn't have that composure. Where I think from One, for me, he has that. He's got his skill. He takes it onto his right. He takes it onto his left. He's very direct with ball, but he can finish as well. And that's why I think he will be a better player than Will Asula.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think if he can show some good fitness, I think he's right in the frame to feature massively for us this season. Yeah. I'm staying positive, Paul. Quality is what we need now, not quantity. Yeah, I like you say, I think there's 3 or 4 positions that I still think we need 1 or 2 in, certainly wide areas. Certainly, I think we might need a centre half.
Yeah, definitely.
And a right back, and whatever that looks like. You know, I think a centre mid as well. There is room for a centre mid with Davies getting injured and obviously Blaster not being available for a while yet. So I think
I was just saying before then, Paul, as well. Obviously, when it cut out, I said I've seen the link that we're free agent Yanis Hadji is. I don't know how much he's probably going to be on high wages, to be honest, and he'd probably want a big signing on fee. But he's a player that that you could easily throw it mix, and I'd be very happy with him. With him joining if it were a player we went for.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much about him. Is he a free agent? Is he or?
He's a free agent. Yeah, I mean there is talks that Rangers are potentially trying to sign him back as well. So it's he's going to go there if he gets the chance to go back. But I see him more as an attacking midfielder. He's better going forward rather than he has been a defensive midfielder. But as we saw on Tuesday night, we were very good going forward. So I think his link-up play. You don't have to start if we've got Callaway. He could fill in for Callaway straight away. Adding a bit into the squad for us.
Yeah, I mean, that happens as well. What do you think to Louis Marsh the other night?
I didn't mind him. I thought he put a good performance in. I thought he were everywhere.
Did you hear me? Louis Marsh.
Yeah, I thought he put a good performance in. I was happy with him. I thought he was everywhere.
I think he looks more like a man, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that was the thing that I was saying last
season.
He
did before. He always
looked a bit too. Bulk up a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Savage, nothing special. Michael, you probably know more than me, mate. Brummagem, top 2. Brummagem, oh, interesting. That's what my uncle, who's from the West Midlands, says. Deef, where are you living, mate? Calls it Brummagem. Hamer defo going, too good for the champ. We don't know, Paul. He didn't go last year, did he? He was too good then as well. Enjoyed the game against York. Okay, York, but some of our patterns of play were superb. Yeah, I know, just might force his way in. Yeah, I think that's the important thing that we spoke about in the off season, isn't it? About style. It's about an identity as a team, and it was hard to pinpoint what that was in the second half of the season for sure. So, yeah, I don't know whether it's something it's probably the way that all the credit comes in this first game is that we can actually see a difference in how they play. For me, I thought there was a noticeable difference. But thanks, Ray, up the blades at the Ramble. Any idea for the injuries Louis Barry has suffered in his short career? I know he's obviously his season was over at Hull, wasn't it? It wasn't an ACL, was it? I can't remember if it was or a thigh or something.
I was thinking the injury.
I'm not too sure. I can't. Yeah, well, obviously he's that young'uns heal a bit quicker, don't they? And you're hopeful that it doesn't do anything long term. I don't think we'd be taking any risks on that front. I'd like to think not anyway. Yeah. Although we did sign Tom Davies, so there you go. I only saw extended highlights of York, David, but I was impressed with them. Like the intensity of the press. O'Hare looked very good. He did. He said the young lads must have been under pressure and nervous. Yeah, I think that gets forgotten a little bit. Those two making the debut, we judge them based on what we think a championship footballer should be, and they've never pulled the shirt on before. So I think I think we've got to account for that. And I think that, like you say, one good performance can unlock players and set them free, as it were, in terms of their ability. Thank you, Jimmy. Very good. Very good. Ian Paul, keep the mountain of positivity alive. Yes, thank you very much. Here come the puns, boys. Here come the dad jokes. Plenty of those today, Jim, weren't there? Hamer is going nowhere. Thank you, Brett. If Brett says it, then I'll believe it. The board know just exactly how important he is to us now. Selling him would look to the fans after Sousa going. We could take the sale of any other player, barring Coops. Yeah, well, Brett, you're right, but they're the two most saleable assets. So yeah, and as you know, in the food chain of football, when the lion turns up, you run away. So that's what that is. Hamer will stay. Hamer defo going. Okay, yeah, nobody knows. So so yeah, we can back and forth all day, lads. We might be wasting our time. Southampton won. Okay, so not in some people's sixes, but they're number one for Pablo, 2 for Ipswich, 3 Brum, 4 Blades, 5 Norwich. Norwich getting some love. I'm a little surprised. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit surprised with that.
I think it's just with Liam Manning going in it. It's we've seen him last season with Bristol City, especially when they come to Lane. I thought they were the better team, and they were probably unlucky to not win that game. I think people are thinking he's going to go there, implement his style, and they're going to pick it up straight away and potentially be up there.
I think it's possible. I don't think it wouldn't be my first port of call for the top 6, not this season anyway, especially with the talent that they're due to say goodbye to. So, but yeah, like you say, I wouldn't be. It wouldn't like, oh, I'm really shocked, but it wouldn't be my pick before the season starts. That's for sure. It's in the order. Thank you, Brett. Yeah, I think people are smart enough to do that, so that's good. Hiya, Paul. Have you heard any rumours about Barry? We've all heard the rumours, Sheila. Like I said, until someone sees him at a training ground with a shirt in his hand, then I think you can keep the rumours till then. I think there is news there is positive talk of a loan deal in the offing, but we'll have to wait again until we see the video flash up on X. Evening, Paul and fellow Ramblers. Good, encouraging start to the season, all about fitness and gelling under a new system. Did what we should against the team at York's level. Yeah, that's right. And goals breed confidence. Johnny, you are correct, mate. Again, there's just one way to get credibility, winning style, and look like you're doing the things that the manager wants you to do. And like you say, there's a few standout performances from a few lads who are. We don't expect it from. We expect it from O'Hare. We expect it from Hamer. We don't necessarily expect it from Ryan One, Louis Marsh, they're players that we're very happy to see put in some good performances. So Ipswich, Blades, Southampton, Leicester, Birmingham, Cov, the Saint, and Norwich in a battle for 6. The Saint, I can reveal exclusive right here. That is, I think, other than Cov swapping position with Birmingham, I think Cov in front of Leicester as well for me. I think that was my 6. Jord, would you change anything?
I'm looking at that, and I think that I had Coventry, I had Birmingham, maybe not Leicester. Even though what we've just been saying, I think they'll be up and around. They might be battling for 6th. I think Leicester, Southampton, yeah, United. I think we'll be there. I think we'll be up there. Definitely Ipswich. West Brom could throw a spanner in works. It could be a team I think that might push that top 6 this season.
Yeah. I've also got a little torch for Watford and potentially Swansea, who I think are doing some smart business as well.
Yeah.
They could be one of the ones that where you go, oh yeah, they're the surprise team this season. I think they've got to be in with a part of the conversation. How good is O'Hare, Paul? I'll tell you, he's brilliant. Never stops running. Love him. Thanks, John. He does not stop running, and I love the way like the tackle on the player, then the break forward. Perfect. If Sayers could design a goal for you to show you his style, it's O'Hare nicking a ball in midfield, racing half the length of the pitch, 2 passes in, done in a flash. I think if Sayers could pick a goal, that would probably typify his style perfectly about what he's trying to do. Avoided Leicester for the points. Also, I think Lampard will hit second season syndrome with Cov. I think they got better for me, Brett, as the season went along. Obviously, they had a few high-profile injuries as well. Hadji Wright was on the comeback trail, weren't he, towards the end? So, if they keep their players fit, they've added Kessler Hayden. I think they probably just need 1 or 2 more, and not to lose any of their big hitters. To keeping Jack Redoni would be a big thing for them as well. So I think they've a lot to offer. I think, they're going to be there or thereabout me. One needs a loan. It might do it for us, Saint, to be honest. I think people would be... I don't know how you feel, like Saint. I don't know if you'd be happy with... If he went somewhere, for example, and scored 25 goals or at League One, that we'd actually loaned him out. Because, we want him to develop, but also we want to benefit from having him. Like I said, we have a lot of young players who I don't think we get. We either move them on too quickly, or we don't really play them enough to sort of see the full benefit of him all the time. And I'd like to see, if he's good enough, play him. Yeah,
he could go out on loan, like you just said. He might score even I think 15, 20 goals in League One, let's say, right? And we already know Liverpool are sniffing around him. They might think then, well, he's done it at League One level. We'll pull trigger. We'll buy him 10 to 15 million pound again, and we never see him. And then I think a lot of fans are going to be gutted, thinking, well, we should have given him a chance in Championship. So I think if he's not going to get used at all this season, definitely loan him out. I don't disagree, because he needs to get game time. But after seeing what we've seen the other night, if he can stay fit or if he can get fitter, I think, we're crying out for wingers, and he can play on that wing, and I think he'll get more and more confidence every game, a bit like Sidney Peck did last season, and he will be the one that shines next season.
So he's your one emerging out of the youth team then.
I think so.
Yeah. So apparently, I've got the ability to do that. So I wouldn't mind that. Winders and Smith officially. Oh dearie me! I did read something about that, Mark, just before we went on. Laughing away there, George. Family ties. There's going to be some banter. I'd take Windass. Ooh, good squad filler. Yeah. That might rub a little salt into the wound, I'd suggest. But certainly, as long as he's up for it, I think we'd take him, wouldn't we, Jord, as a player off the bench or even a player on form?
I'm a bit against it. I've seen, because obviously, as many people will know that watch Behind Ramble and watch-alongs, my partner's a Wednesday fan, and I've seen enough of their games when she's been watching him on telly this season where he has got a bit of class about him, and he probably would be a good squad filler, as you'd say. But he also, I've seen him down tools as well. You know, when it's not going his way and he spits dummy out a bit, and it can be a bit frustrating. And I don't want that type of player at our club if you're just going to down tools. I want someone who's going to commit 100% every game. So I'm a bit. It probably doesn't help that he's played for Wednesday. I've probably been a bit biased in saying that.
Yeah, I know that's not something we could level at his dad from when I used to watch him play. He was never a down tools sort of a guy. Super positive, Jack. Oh, this must be super positive if you're going to let me read it. No way we are top 6 right now. Okay. These new owners better get a move on. I think it's been poor from them right now. Let's just hold our triggers for them. We get on towards the end of the window. We are easily top 6. Arguments going. Yeah, here we go. Top 6. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Lewis, difficult to judge so early. Very good, yeah. But Marshy raised a few eyebrows at York. Some really nice touches. I really, really like Marshy as a player. I think there's something about him in terms of the quality when he gets the ball under control. His first touch is excellent. And yeah, he looked a bit lightweight before, and I always thought, would he ever score enough goals? But I think that little role in behind, I think he's a really smart, intelligent footballer. And again, he looks more like a man all of a sudden, and that can make a big difference in terms of what you can do with the ball at this level. So I'm a fan. I think he rivals Oni for me as the one that might emerge this season potentially. It's about time, innit? I don't think he can continue to be on the edge of things like he has the last year or two. So I think it's about his time to have a go in the team.
Yeah,
and that would have done him any harm the other night either.
I agree. I know he's not old, is he? But he's been sort of talked about the last 3 or 4 seasons now, and he's never really forced his way, has he? Towards the team. He's had loan spells where, unfortunately, Donny got injured, didn't he? And then he went to Fleetwood last season, and they were raving about him. So, yeah, it's about time he starts knocking on that door and trying to force his way into the team. Otherwise, I think he might be one of them that sort of gets away and slips out of our team if it doesn't happen within the next season or season after.
Indeed, yeah. Again, for me, dearie me, the internet. 25 mil for Hamer. I don't know. I think 20 potentially does the job.
Yeah.
But we'd have to see. But I hope we keep him. That's for sure. What are you saying, Bri? Oh, this is frozen again.
Just saying. I don't know if you can.
Sorry,
see.
Jordan, frozen.
Can you hear me though?
I can hear you now.
Yeah,
it's can you hear me now? Of a delay. Peter K, innit? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
On the bus. Yeah, mate. Can you hear me now? Hey, I'm on the bus. No, Joe's looking good here. Oh, very good. Well done, Bri. I'll give him your number, mate. Don't worry. Top 6: Ipswich, Southampton, Birmingham, United, Cov, and Derby. Wow, there is love for Derby as well.
Hey.
Can Carlton Morris, can the wee man up front do the job for him? We'll see. Andreas Wee Man. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. But Derby, yeah, interesting calls there for Derby. If United sell Hamer and Sousa already gone, won't finish in the top 10. Heed our warning, board members. Thank you. We had Joe live, but not Man Mountain for a second. Fine now. I know, Lewis, it was a scary time, but we'll all get through it together. Don't worry. Really happy with the performance. Really good direct passing and runs. Yeah, Jack, you're right, mate. Think about that when you're getting annoyed with the board, and keep you smiling. But right now, don't see it. Well, I don't know.
It was positive for 2 seconds.
Come on, Jack. Just seen the Michael Smith and Windass of both. Yeah, we've seen that. 15 is an insult, says the Saint. Frozen Mountain, yeah, there is. There's snow on the mountain tonight. Leeds are falling apart again. Okay. They might be. They need to get their move on and stop letting Sunderland trump them for every single player. But less said about that, the better on this one. We'll talk about that another time. 20 mil, 20 with 5 with add-ons. Yes, Paul, it's rubbish. Thank you, Brian. Hi, guys. Who do you see winning the champ? Ipswich, personally.
Yeah. Exactly same as me.
They've got the squad, haven't they? I think they've got the squad.
Yeah.
What else we got? Don't get me wrong. Don't think this is a bad player, but at the same time, I don't think he's as good as people make out. Yeah, I know. I don't know what people make out. I don't know what's expected. Certainly, do I think Liverpool are knocking and that's justified? No, I do not. But I think he shows some of the physical attributes that means he's got a high ceiling, similar to Femi Siriki. I think he's another one who's got a very high ceiling because of the physical attributes he brings to the table, similar to Kyle Walker was once upon a day. Not that I'm comparing any of them to him, because that wouldn't be right. Don't see any teams dumping up 25 mil. Correct, Paul. I think that's our saving grace at the minute. A guy who can only play for 3/4 of an hour or just over isn't always going to be worth that much money. Froze, keep freezing, yeah, I don't know why. Paul keeps freezing. Should I have gone to Sky? No. Thank you, David. I do keep freezing. Jordan, I'm going to try and scoot through these, mate, because
fine, mate.
I've got the feeling the quality of the stream isn't as good as it should be, but I don't want it to be affecting the quality of what we're trying to do. So, we'll try and be quick. So potential for sure. Okay, thanks, Mark Meldrew. Need a few more before I'm convinced. Yeah, I agree, Mark. I think we do need a few more. We do need a few more to strengthen the squad. That's for sure. Reminded me of Vasulas versus Chesterfield. Yeah, again, lower level. Seem to have more time and a bit more composure just because of that, I think. It's always intriguing to see people, can they do it against the teams at a better level? We've seen plenty of those over the years who can't make that transition. Ipswich, Southampton, Brum, Sheff, Cov and Swansea. Again, a bit of love for Swansea. The rest, I'm already on board with that. One has 3 in front of him. Not sure he will stay. I don't know about that. I think if he can prove himself on that left-hand side, who's in front of him? Saint, I'd be intrigued to know who's in front of him on that left. Louis Barry might be if he turns up, but I could see him dovetailing with him pretty nicely. If Gus isn't out there, I don't know. Over Cannon, I don't think Cannon's in front of him personally.
Sayers usually he likes to bring young players through, though, doesn't he? And I think that's why the owners have gone with him, for his attacking style of play and to bring through the youth. So I won't count Oney out of this squad this season. I think we might be surprised.
No, again, I agree. Yeah. Get more out of this squad, says Jimmy. And we got a lot out of the last one. Don't want to mention the manager. Okay. I guess it depends what you're saying, Jimmy, I guess. Ipswich could be carrying some relegation baggage and do a Luton. Wow. That would be the shock of the season, mate, if that happened again. I think Ipswich are going to be there or thereabouts based on the play, on the personnel in the door and the manager. I think we'll be better. 90 points again. Okay, interesting. Diane Ingalls, hello. We always sell players for peanuts. I think that could have been levelled at us a few years ago. I think the last summer's transfer window we got more than we expected, or I expected, for nearly every player. So I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. I think if we think back in our history, that's definitely a good point, Diane. But I don't think that's quite the case at the minute. We have to get 25 mil extra plus for Gus. Again, I'm not sure if anyone pays it. I think if he's fully fit and firing, I think they might do, but certainly I don't know.
I think his age.
If someone's going to pay it.
His age stops them probably paying that. If he were maybe 24, then I think people might pay 25 mil, but he's 28, he's going to be 29, this season at some point. And he can't stay fit, can he? So, no, we didn't think he could stay fit last season. So there's no one going to pay 25 mil for him. No chance.
30 million League One. So I take it he's talking about Brum here. 30 million League One was not a big deal, as they were always going to. It is a big deal, Saint. No one's gone anywhere near that. Didn't they sign the centre forward? They signed him for like 12 million. Stansfield, weren't it?
Stansfield,
they had him for like 12 or 15 million quid. Saint, no one's ever done that in League One. They've done it in the Championship, but not League One. You're on your own at the moment. Yeah, he knows. Yeah, we're past all that. I joined the mountain, crashes out. Cheers, Ref. Yeah, that's definitely not my fault. Right, we're up to the hour. I have to say thank you so much, guys. The comments go on forever and ever and ever. So yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream because me and my family we all support the England Lionesses and we want to have a watch of them. They're on in a moment. So yeah, I intended to try and get through as many as I can. Thank you for supporting the channel, guys. I know it's been difficult with my current setup that you're going to hear about tomorrow. George, Starman, thank you for jumping on. I know, and I only organised George.
Oh, England's losing.
Are you having me on?
No, 1 minute 50. I've got it on in background. I put it on. They're losing 1-0.
Oh my gosh! Right, okay.
But yeah, no. Thanks for having me on anyway. And
the plane crashes into the mountain, and there we go. Yeah, great. George, thank you so much, mate. Quality stuff, pal. And have a good evening, Ramblers. We'll be back. I'll be back next week. I think I'll be back at the weekend as well. You'll see me a bit more of me while Jimmy's away. And George, you'll definitely see some more of you, mate, because I'm tapping you up all the while. All right. Thanks again.
Cheers.
No worries. Cheers, everybody. Have a good evening.